I'll try and answer those questions. But at the end of this broadcast, if you still have more questions to ask, I'll give you a phone number to call and ask me directly. I care about what's happening to this country, about increasing job insecurity, about the rising crime rate, about falling standards of education for our children, about our National Health Service. I know you care about those things too, and tonight I intend to answer hard questions about what Labour will do about them in government. We're not promising the earth. We are promising what we know we can deliver. And tonight I'm giving you just 5 examples of the pledges we will make, pointers to the type of change we want. In each case, we say what we will do and how we will pay for it. And in the manifesto will of course come more. Our aim is rising prosperity for all in a stable, low inflation economy in which we make Britain, hammered by conservative tax rises, better off with Labour. More jobs, more nurses, smaller classes, safer streets, success in business. These are the issues that matter to you. They're the issues that matter to me too. Mine is the first generation to grow up not knowing if our children will be better off than we are. The first generation to fear for the improvement of our children's education and for our parents' care in old age. It shouldn't be like this. Britain is a great country. It's full of talented people, capable of competing with anyone in the world. Our potential is limitless. Yet because the Conservatives only act for and care about a few people at the top, we're falling behind other countries. Our pledge to you is simple. New Labour will give new life to Britain. You'll find our plans in this document, which you can get by calling the number at the end of the broadcast. My colleagues and I will then be going out and about in Britain to discuss these ideas with you. I want to know what you think. I want you to know what kind of people we are, what kind of government we'd be. I would also like to give you one of these cards. It spells out these early pledges that we're making tonight. Keep it so that you know what you are voting for. And if we win, keep it to make sure we deliver on what we promise. I promise you now that we will deliver. We have changed the Labour Party. Now the Labour Party wants to earn your trust to change. You Labour, you like your country, my country. Together we can build New Britain. To ask me how, phone this number now.
Of course, in the end, last year was dominated by the 11th of September and by the war in Afghanistan. And we can be immensely proud of the part played and still play in that conflict. But I never forget for a moment why we were elected as a government. Public services. Education, the national.
Yes,
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And people sometimes ask me why the money that's now going into our public services wasn't put in earlier. And the reason's very simple. When we first came to power, we'd a doubled national debt. We were actually paying off every year in debt repayment more than we were spending on the whole of the school system of the United Kingdom. And we had to put our economy and our public finances in order strong. So now we can put in, and are putting in, record investment into each of the main public service areas. That investment allows us the new hospitals that are being built, the schools that are being refurbished or rebuilt, the new rolling stock in our transport industry. It also allows us to hire public sector staff, so more nurses, more doctors, more police, hiring more staff and paying them better.
Hi, good to see you.
The money is important, but we know that money is not enough. With the investment has to come the series of changes that the service has seen since that we have to make sure the National Health Service as a comprehensive service, the most radical overhaul of the criminal justice system, the guilty, put people in prison where they need to be quicker, make sure we speed up the whole system of justice and look after the victim properly in a way that hasn't been attempted for decades. In each of our public services, we can see examples of where people are getting precisely the service that they need. And yet we know in other areas there is room for substantial improvement. So our task has got to be to keep that investment and change going into the system and make sure we have tolerated change in our public services. Now we have the economic strength, the resources and the political will to deliver. Of course it will take time. We can never turn round the problems of decades in a few years. But over time, with that money and with that change, then the improved public services we all need and all depend upon will happen.